Hey everybody, and welcome into a new video edition of the Eye on the Tigers podcast here at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, sponsored by Closets by Design of St. Louis. You can get 40% off any order of $1,000 or more, or 30% off any order of $700 to $1,000. Free installation also for any order of $600 or more. Call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to order today. Dave, another Missouri football game, another chance for the Tigers to prove that they are trending toward a bowl game here at the end of the season. They got over that Georgia hump, took their medicine, and they have some more manageable games here moving forward. It starts with South Carolina at home, but the Tigers quarterback situation still a little murky. What do we know recording this on a Friday afternoon headed into Saturday afternoon's game?
Well, just like last week, Missouri listed Connor Bazelak as questionable. And, for the season, if you're listed as questionable by Missouri, you've got about a 50-50 chance of playing in the game. So quarterback situation, though, is a little bit different. If you're the head coach, you're a little bit more inclined to keep that more of a mystery, leading up to kickoff. So if there's any doubt that he can't play, I would suspect we would see the two freshmen again in some capacity. Now, maybe it's not a split even series, a pure rotation like it was at Georgia between Tyler Macon and Brady Cook. But those guys are going to prepare to play, I'm sure. And we'll see. Maybe it's a game time decision. Maybe they want to see, Connor, get out there and just see if he can do anything. Or it just could be this is decided again, just like the Georgia game, that those guys are going to play and it's up to them to win the game.
We saw a pretty even mix between Cook and Macon against Georgia, and credit to those guys for jumping into just a tough task and showing some good signs. Now, clearly, I think we saw Cook some more polished passer. Macon brings some unpredictability in the running game, but Cook can run too. So if it's those two with Bazelak out, it will be interesting to see how Drinkwitz tilts the playing time in one direction, or if he goes with kind of that split approach. What do we know about South Carolina, Dave? The first-year head coach and Shane Beamer, a lot of excitement around him. They are riding a high after beating Florida. Now, Florida's off the rails a little bit, but that's still a big win for South Carolina. They've got multiple running backs. They pick off a ton of passes. What do we know about these Gamecocks? They're a confident team now after beating Florida.
Yeah, their first 2 months of the season were very similar to Missouri's. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat some, group of five teams. They weren't very competitive against Georgia or Texas A&M or really Tennessee for that matter. So it was kind of like, okay, we're going to just muddle around in the bottom of the SEC East, be better than Vanderbilt, but not much better than that. And then they had that really impressive complete victory over Florida. We know Florida is fading, but you got to give the Gamecocks credit for coming out, and they just owned that game. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They were very physical. They basically made Florida quit, and Florida was dealing with a lot of cases of the flu on their team, but that sounds like a nice convenient excuse coming out of the Gators locker room. But South Carolina took it to them. That's the kind of game Missouri hasn't had against a Power 5 team this year. So we've seen a little bit more from them, but now you've got the bounce back effect. Like, they've got to go on the road. It's not going to be a really super comfortable environment for them, playing in Columbia West. And, will that victory, how will that impact their preparation, just their confidence, or will it take away something from their effort, playing another game against a division opponent? So a lot on the line here. Both of these teams need a win to get bowl eligible. Missouri needs two, and it's a little tougher after this game.
You got South Carolina, you got Arkansas, you got Florida, all more manageable teams in Georgia. And maybe there's a silver lining there for a defense that played a little bit tougher against the run against Georgia. I still want to see more, but this will be a good chance for Missouri to prove that it's taking a step forward in defense. South Carolina's got a lot of different running backs. You made a great point earlier, Dave. You said you add up all their total yards and they still can't match Tyler Beatty. So a different approach to the ground game for both of these teams. But we'll see if Missouri can build on maybe what it showed against Georgia defensively. We'll have it covered at stltoday.com. I'll be there along with you in Columbia for this game between the Tigers and the Gamecocks, and keep it locked at stltoday.com for all of your Mizzou coverage with hoop season lifting off as well. For Dave, I'm Ben. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the game, everybody.